And welcome back to my Senate election prediction videos, where I take a look at the Senate races going on across America this year in 2022 and give you my thoughts, predictions, and analysis on the race. Today we are looking at the state of Utah and a seat currently held by the Republican Party and Senator Mike Lee. He is in his second term. In 2016, Senator Lee's margin of victory was 41%. In 2016, Donald Trump's margin of victory in the state of Utah over Hillary Clinton was 18%. In 2020, Donald Trump's margin of victory in the state of Utah over Joe Biden was 20%, so a slight increase. The Democratic nominee for Senate this year in the state of Utah, there isn't one. They have endorsed an independent candidate, though. Evan McMullin is a former House Republican staffer. He worked in the House from about 2013 to 2016. He left the House of Representatives to run for President of the United States. And he was kind of seen as the last-ditch effort of the never-Trump Republican wing of the conservative movement to challenge Donald Trump. And he got ballot access in a couple of western states, including his home state of Utah. He actually garnered about 18% of the vote in the state of Utah in 2016. Afterwards, he has founded several advocacy organizations and endorsed Joe Biden in the 2020 election. Was very firm and continued his criticism of Donald Trump. And announced that he was running for Senate about a year ago against Mike Lee. The Democratic Party took the step of, at their convention earlier this year, they decided to endorse Evan McMullin instead of running a candidate of their own, not dividing up the anti-Lee vote. McMullin, interestingly enough, the junior Republican senator from the state of Utah, has remained neutral in this race instead of endorsing his Republican colleague, Senator Lee, because he says he's friends and admires both men. So there is that factor, but I'll get into that later. The Republican nominee is Mike Lee. He did have some Republican opposition in the primaries to his nomination, which is interesting because Senator Lee is actually a senator now because he knocked off a sitting senator back in 2010. But Senator Lee easily won his primary and now is going to the general election. So, there was no Democratic primary, and about a little over 400,000 votes were cast in the Republican primary. Look, I know Senator Romney is remaining neutral. There's some that think this race might be somewhat competitive, but my overall impression is that it's not going to be. Evan McMullin's best chance to do something was to either win Utah in 2016 or come in a strong second. He came in third. So yeah, there is some support for him there, and he will have one of the best finishes of an independent running in 2022, just by the virtue of the fact that there's no Democrat running. But Mike Lee is easily going to win a third term, and it will be a Republican hold.